So we're finally into our first movie of Phase 4. Got delayed forever. Black Widow. I'm gonna start putting movies down here for now. Black Widow came out in July, right at the end of Loki's run, July 2020 or July 2021. So, Zach, where we put in Black Widow?
I'll give it a C.
C?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fine. I
Just
said
3 years too late, right?
It didn't have to be.
Yeah.
I did my review, and I even did like when I did the ranking video when I did my list, I ranked them. I said that like I've always wanted Natasha's like Winter Soldier, but I expected the director to just copy Winter Soldier beat for beat and water it down. Even from like the silent Tess, who's related to her. But the thing is, like, you took someone that shouldn't be silent in Taskmaster, who talks the most shit in the Marvel comics. Like, I don't even care that they changed it to a girl. Honestly, that's fine. The actress that they picked can do a good job. But what have made it better is to have a chatty, talking shit female Taskmaster. I think that would have been more progressive than hiring just a silent one. Because we don't get evil women characters like that. So they dropped the ball on that. All the side characters had more story and arcs than the main character. Natasha didn't get much action-wise, story-wise, plot-wise. The only thing saving grace for this was Yelena Belova.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh is one of my favorite actresses in the last 5 years. She's great in everything she does, even the movies that are just okay. She's always a shining light, and she did a bang-up job here. She's did a good job in Hawkeye. She's going to do a fantastic job in Thunderbolts, and when she leads the Young Avengers and everything she's going to do in the MCU. David Harbour was good, but yeah, it was just too weird CGI choices, too much of a copy of Winter Soldier, but just not as good.
Wait, sorry, got a cat walking on me. What about you, Brandon?
I agree.
Were you keeping it at a C?
I'd leave it at C. Like we said, first and foremost, the movie was way too late. This should have come out after Civil War. This should have been a couple months after Civil War. It shouldn't. At this point, I had kind of lost interest in the character of Black Widow. It really seemed like it was just kind of Kevin Feige and Marvel just throwing Scarlett Johansson a bone because she didn't get her own solo film when she should have much earlier. It was an entertaining enough movie. To me, it just wasn't the movie that it could have been. They could have done more, just like Zach said, they could have done more with Taskmaster. The movie really didn't even have its own identity. It just kind of felt like a cut and paste and bits and pieces of others, like Winter Soldier, elements of the Bourne movies in there I kind of picked up on. Countless other espionage movies. It just never felt like it had an identity all its own. It was well acted enough. We know what to expect from Scarlett Johansson. Florence Pugh was the shining light. That was already touched on as Yelena. I really couldn't have seen that character working as well if it were any other actress other than Florence Pugh. Just her energy, her delivery of the roles, what she brought to the role. Like she crushed it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. I was overjoyed to see her in Hawkeye. I'm looking forward to seeing her in Thunderbolts. I think she was the one, dare I say, even carrying this whole thing. It was just, I was just very, very middle of the road with this movie. It was entertaining enough for what it set out to do, but it just kind of lacked ambition to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we got two people who give it a C. Brian, what are you giving it?
I don't even think this is a Phase 4 movie. This is like a Phase 2 movie that got released in Phase 4 after she's already dead. I mean, she literally is already dead, and now you're gonna release the movie. It was stupid. All right. The movie comes out in in 2017, 2018. This is a good movie. Yes. I feel like you get an A-B movie. And now I'm gonna give it a C. Just because I love Scarlett Johansson, I love Florence Pugh, I love David Harbour, I love all those things. But guess what? getting a C because it didn't matter. There was no reason for it to be released, and it just it was a waste. It was literally a waste. So I only give him a C because there's other things that deserve a D.
Yeah. I'm right there with you guys. Probably a C is about where it should be at, because it didn't suck to the point where like it's a D. You know, like it was at least entertaining enough to enjoy it. You know, and you had some powerhouse actors and actresses.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Christine, Rachel Weisz. You know, I freaking love
Ray
her.
Winstone. You know.
Yeah. So, but like you said, it came out in the wrong phase for one, like Brian said, and then COVID just murdered this movie. You know, like it's coming out today, now it's coming out tomorrow, it's coming out this day, and they changed the release date on this so many more times. You know, it was just like the running gag of COVID. You know, it felt like, you know, it was like it's never gonna come out. You know, and then you're finding out all the stuff that Disney did with Scarlett Johansson afterward. I mean, Disney just ruined this movie from the start, like right from the start, from releasing it in the wrong time frame and then having all the issues and handling it improperly. So, but we did get some good stuff out of it. You know, David Harper with Red Guardian was great. Like you said, Florence Pugh was great, and they're awesome characters. You know, so if this was Scarlett Johansson's last time as Black Widow, it kind of sucks. You know, because I'd rather have her last
amazing character. It was an amazing character, and they didn't do an arc for her. They killed her off, and then they're like, "Hey, this is how we got to that point 5 years ago."
Yeah, it was basically a side quest in the MCU, but you know,
it was.
It could have been so much more, because just like you said, Brian, she's an amazing character. You know, I would have been happy with more than one movie of her. You know, it just seemed like it was kind of made, you know, just for the heck of being made, and it was never the movie it could have been. It was just too little, too late.
Yeah.
And I don't mind side quests. Sorry, I was
just saying I would have rather seen this than seeing Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind side quests. I don't think everything has to push the narrative of the overall universe forward. I think that's a problem that a lot of people have with these movies and shows, because just like comic books, it has to be about the character. It just needed to be a better movie. It should have been grittier. They had this whole thing with him taking girls and young girls to trafficking. They could have gone into more of that. Like, they had different. The action scene when Taskmaster's first chasing both of them was actually really, really good.
Yeah,
but it's just they needed to stop. Like, I get that they wanted some quiet moments, but the quiet moments was just too static. And then the finale was just too similar to Winter Soldier, but just not as good. Going up to something in the sky, and she's fighting in the silent protect, and then the ridiculous them falling from the sky and then landing on the ground, and she has no powers.
Yeah. But I mean, this movie was also made after Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman came out and was super successful. And then Marvel was like, "Oh, hey, we have a woman too. Here it is." You know, as like Brandon said, a little too late, you know, for that. It was like DC won that battle because you didn't have the courage enough to put out one of your best characters, not just female characters, one of your best characters out. So, you know, that was more on Disney than I think anything else. Was just completely screwed up. Do
you guys know when this movie was originally supposed to be coming out?
Oh man, it was like 2020. Was it like
2020.
March of 2020?
So when they first released, they were going to put a movie together for her. This was in 2018 that they talked about it, putting the movie together. They just did nothing for it for like a year and a half.
Yeah,
those are issues I have. Like, you could have done something with this, and you could have came out with this movie a lot sooner, and it would have been a lot more successful. But it seems like it was an afterthought. And then once you killed off the character, it was never going to do well.
Yeah, no one cared. Because they saw the way she should have, that they wanted to see her, like her sacrificing, having a good cherry on top of whatever little story she had. That was it. That was the way you should have ended. And said you have her come back just to introduce her replacement, which was kind of not cool.
Very much.
And then Andy said Black Widow was good when you compare it to Iron Man 3 and Thor Dark World. Yeah.
I like
They
Iron Man
got-
3. Why is everyone shitting on him?
Because it deserves it.
I know the Mandarin
deserves it.
twist. I know the Mandarin twist was bad, but we got
It was
Trevor
the half the
and
movie.
Shang-Chi.
The Mandarin twist had me cracking up in the theater. I still kind of think it's funny, especially in hindsight, since they technically kind of fixed that. But
Yeah, one of the coolest superhero scenes I've seen in a superhero movie with him saving everybody.
There were elements of Iron Man 3 I liked. You know,
It was.
There are plenty
that's
of
not
things
Phase
that
4.
I
Let's
did
move.
not like.
Yeah. Let's move on.